It is great to be back with you here at historic Riggs Field. Another great night for a big-time matchup in the ACC in terms of men's soccer. Duke Blue Devils on the road here against the Clemson Tigers. Alongside Charlie Davies, I'm Dallin Cuff. Chuck, we were fortunate to see it Tuesday. #1 team in the nation, Wake Forest, came to town to South Carolina. They walked away with a 2-1 loss. Clemson, big bounce-back win after a heartbreaking loss to UNC. What impressed you most about their performance?
It was the reaction, Dallin. Coming out, pressing Wake Forest from the jump. And then they created goals and they finished. This team looked like they're finally hitting their stride.
Hitting your stride right there is Luis Felipe Fernandez Salvador with a toe poke game-winning goal. He's a guy that's starting to find himself, but Camarnie Smith and Grayson Barber are two of the most dynamic scorers and creators in college soccer.
Get them isolated down 1v1 and let them get to work. They have pace, they read the game well, they're good on the ball, and last match versus Wake, they worked on both sides. They pressed, and the press was effective, leading to opportunities in front of goal.
And speaking in front of goal, the goal minder for the Blue Devils is going to be critical here. Will Pulisic, last time these two teams met last year was a 3-1 win for the Tigers, but Pulisic had 10 saves. That is a career high. He's going to have to be critical in this match yet again.
Dallin, he's going to need to be vocal, organizing the back line to protect the 18, and he'll need to read the game well tonight to give Duke a shot at coming away with the result.
He's a former two-time All-ACC performer. He started all 62 matches that he has played in the Blue Devils uniform. All his experience will be necessary here. When we come back, we'll get you lineups. A big injury for Duke. We'll get you that note after the break. Get ready to go here at historic Riggs Field. Duke against Clemson. Duke coming off their win against NC State. John Kerr's crew 4-1-4-1. Jack Dorn, their grad student captain, is out injured. Stephen O'Connell starts for him on the left wing. But Lewis McGarvey, one of these four freshmen starting, is important in the middle. No, Chuck?
Yeah, he'll sit in front of the back four, provide cover, and they'll need him to disrupt the Clemson midfield.
And on the Clemson side, you mentioned him a little bit in that Wake Forest highlight we showed you earlier. He had the game-winning goal, Luis Felipe Fernandez Salvador. What do you like about where he's fitting in his role in this squad?
His movement. He finds the pockets, he keeps the ball moving, and he makes late runs into the box.
Mike Noonan's crew in their typical 4-3-3. James Brighton gets to start again at the central forward position to give them a true number 9. All players taking their knee for unity, which has become customary in all ACC matches and very typical across the world. World football recognizing the battle for social justice, taking a knee right after the whistle. That is Matthias Frick, another one of the captains for the Blue Devils and one of their center backs. We talked about him in the beginning of the show as well. He will be an integral guy in slowing down this man, Grayson Barber, and this high-flying Clemson Tiger attack. Mark Gorak is your official. Whistle is blown. We are underway from historic Riggs Field. Tigers looking to make it 20 straight wins here at home. Camarnie Smith going to have an opportunity early, looks like, to probably put a ball in. He does just that. It will be cleared out by the Blue Devils. On the ball, John Martin. He's the one change from the starting lineup from Wake. Alvaro Gomez, who was at that right back spot, was injured in that match, so 13. Martin on the ball now. Gets his third start of the campaign. Picked up by Scotty Taylor. Back to Ian Murphy, one of the veterans in that back line, a junior that's logged a lot of minutes. Knocked out wide to Charlie Asensio. Up to Smith again. Smith mixing Daly, the freshman. Opportunity, good ball in, but just a bit too tall for James Brighton.
Dallin, this is great. Picking up exactly where they left off against Wake. Passing, moving, playing simple. It's very effective against a Duke team that is going to have to defend for large portions of the match.
Smith on it again, lays it off. Ball floated in. Martin, early ball played in, off the head of Brighton and right in the hands of Will Pulisic, the senior leader of this back line. As you mentioned, he's been an all-league player 2 different years in his career.
John Martin whips it in, and James Brighton cuts in front of Matthias Frick to flick it on goal, but not enough power. An easy save for Will Pulisic.
And Callum Johnson about to throw it in, but he leaves it for Martin. Johnson, number 8 in orange there, is a transfer from BC, Charlie Davies' alma mater. Played there for 3 years, had a bad hip injury, chance to redshirt, and ended up here at Clemson, where he started every match so far this year.
And they've been very impressed with him, Dallin. His mentality, his work rate.
And on the touchline for Duke, John Kerr, his 13th season at Duke, had a milestone win in his career. He spent 9 years prior to Duke at Harvard, got his 200th overall victory as they took down NC State in their last match. Here's an opportunity, Stephen O'Connell into the box. Early ball, Scotty Taylor was trying to run onto it, but Oscar Ogren so solid in the back.
And this is how Duke can be effective on the counter. Oscar Ogren has been sharp this year, Dallin. Cutting out crosses, defending well, his positioning.
Yeah, he's been great, Chuck. Him and Justin Malou. I mean, Ogren's only a sophomore from Malmo, Sweden, and started every game in his career he's been here. He's played every minute this year. To your point, he's been solid. Malou's been solid. They've only allowed 2 goals in 4 games. It's second best in the conference right now, goals per game allowed. Daniel Wright to play it in, curling back post. And manning the touchline for Clemson, Mike Noonan, in his 11th year at the helm here at Clemson. 12th in the country in active head coaches and wins, 337 career W's across 4 different schools. Opportunity now for Kamani Smith getting forward. Smith dancing, cuts it back. 2 Blue Devils there, and Frick's able to usher it out.
And that's where they have an advantage down. Matthias Frick, he lacks the pace. So his positioning has to be perfect tonight when you're talking about dealing with speedy wingers in both Grayson Barber and Kamani Smith.
Nice touch by Brighton. Good cut back by Brandon Salvador. Smith curls it in just wide. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
Again, Mayaka starts the sequence. Callum Johnson's head up, he plays it into the feet, and then Felipe Fernandez Salvador with a great cutback and finds Kamani Smith sitting at the top of the box, and he tries to just guide it into that far post with a light chip curled, and he just missed.
Smith scored his 20th career goal. That was the first goal of the match against Wake Forest. He then had the assist that won the game for them on the Fernandez Salvador goal. So Chuck, we're only 5 minutes in here, and Clemson's been dangerous already. How concerned are you for the Blue Devils defensively, and what can they do to kind of shore stuff up?
What we saw with Wake Forest, Clemson were just as aggressive, and they were creating the same type of opportunities, but they never broke. They bent, but they never broke. They withstood a lot of the pressure. For Duke, same thing. Make sure you limit the mistakes. Stay compact.
Charlie Asensio on the overlap. Early ball played in. Headed out. Over to Philip Mayaka, the freshman of the year last year. First team All-ACC, but his ball is going to trickle through. Ian Murphy on it. Double team. Important part of this Duke team that's not there tonight. He's there on the sidelines. Jack Dorn, one of the captains, he scored 2 goals already. He had the game-winning goal against NC State last week. He's a grad student. He knows a lot, Chuck. I know you know his pedigree. He was former Boston Bolts club player just like yourself. How much are they going to lose a veteran presence like him in this match?
It's a massive loss. Just with the direction on the field, being able to understand the tempo, slow things down or speed things up, and being able to, help these freshmen along the way.
That's a Duke team that starts 4 freshmen, and John Kerr was really clear. He loves this group. They're fun, they're energetic, they're hungry to learn. So he's really enjoying, he said it so many times on our call, enjoying coaching this group, but it is a young team, and you're playing a seasoned veteran squad that is the defending champs in terms of the regular season in the ACC. It's a tall order on the road, to say the least. Little 1-2 played between Martin and Smith. He's going to try to find Smith again. Martin was ridden off the ball by Stephen O'Connell, and that'll be a free kick. Taken quickly. Mayaka. Martin's touch let him down there.
James Brighton, very impressed with his first start last match against Wake Forest. Still trying to catch up, get his feet under him, build his fitness up. But to log in 76 minutes against the Wake Forest team and grow within the game, the hold-up play. We talked to Coach Mike Noonan. He was very impressed with what James Brighton brought to the game.
Yeah, Brighton's a guy that's trying to work, as you mentioned, work his way back to full fitness. This Clemson team had COVID issues and contract tracing situations in the middle of September that postponed a couple of their first matches. They lost some scrimmage opportunities. So and Brighton's one of those guys that was affected. So Coach Noonan said to us before the last game, we're going to start him and see how long he can go, maybe 20 minutes. He ended up going the first whole full half. He's in good. Scotty Taylor might have an opportunity, but muscled off the ball by Justin Malou. And Brighton, you mentioned going 76 minutes. I mean, that was really impressive. We'll see what we can give him today, but he's been a huge addition to this squad.
Dallin, John Kerr talked about Scotty Taylor's development and how he wants to play and the progress he wants to make.
Daniel Wright played it in. Scotty Taylor got a shot off. The sophomore from Millbourne, New Jersey.
The ball played in. Daniel Wright takes it, turns, and is allowed to dribble. And here, he just whips one in, doesn't even have to look, and Scotty Taylor does a good job of making that near post run.
Laid off, opportunity for McGarvey. And flag went up on the far side for offside.
That was a play straight off the training ground. The corner kick designed for Peter Stroud at the top of the box, who takes his shot, but it was blocked. That's one area of the game where Duke can really look to hurt Clemson off of set pieces.
Chuck, we see already that Kamani Smith and Grayson Barber have switched flip-flop sides in their wings. You see Smith in the bottom of your screen, 9, Barber's the far side. Why would they do that so early? What do you think the impetus is for that?
It's just trying to put Duke off, throw them off, interchange. That's when you love to see teams be able to make other teams adjust. The opposing team has to figure out, okay, how do we deal with Grayson Barber? How do we deal with Kamani Smith? Because they're always interchanging and moving. So Ian Murphy, the left back for Duke, is saying, okay, this is how Grayson Barber likes to play. He likes to come inside, and all of a sudden you lose possession, and you see Kamani Smith making these runs, and Kamani likes to make runs in behind. And so it's just trying to throw off the chemistry and the ideas that the Duke backline had coming into the game.
One of those guys in the back line, freshman Amir Daly with the throw in here. Daly's a New York Red Bull Academy product. John Kerr sang his praises, that Red Bull mentality. He's got a lot of guys from the Red Bull Academy on this team, but this toughness, physicality, the desire to get better, to keep pushing the coaches to give him feedback. He's one of 11 freshmen in this crew, and as we already mentioned, one of 4 starting freshmen. in this group. Very young team, as you see. Number of seniors on that roster, but not a lot of those guys get minutes. A lot of these underclassmen do.
And Dallin, you can watch Amir Daly and how he plays. It's the same Red Bull philosophy, which is the outside backs get high. They're aggressive. They look to attack. And so that space in behind is vulnerable when you're talking about playing against Kamari Smith and Grayson Barber. So you have to find that fine balance.
Paying out to John Martin, looking forward for Johnson. Mayaka. Forward to Barber. Low ball played in, cleared out.
And this is great by Clemson, switching the point of attack, being able to try and stretch Duke, use the width. That's how you break down teams that are defending. You see there's eight Duke players in the box. They're really in lines. They're trying to be structured and organized, and they're defending first, and they have Scotty Taylor just high, looking to counter through Scotty Taylor. And there's a foul. Duke are going to kind of take the same game plan that we saw with UNC and Wake at times. Be physical, rough, disrupt Clemson. Oscar Ogren comes into the midfield, plays the ball to the feet of Camarney, who takes a touch in, and right up his butt is the freshman, Amir Daly, being physical, showing that he's not going to back down. I like that from the youngster. Will Pulisic getting everybody up, pushing the lines high. Oscar Ogren called for the foul. Clemson have to be smart when it comes to giving away fouls around the box. This is how Duke scored their first goal against NC State. A longer free kick that was played to the back post, floated in from Garvey. Peter Stroud did a good job of using his body to bump James Brighton so he couldn't connect that pass and hit Duke on the counter, so well done. The freshman who played 2 years in the West Ham Academy in England. John Kerr has liked what he's brought to his side. You can see Kamari Smith gets him the ball. There's 3 Duke players that surround him. So the quicker he can play and move, the more space that'll be open for some of these other Clemson attackers. Clemson are pushing Duke, keeping that back line, a flat back line of 4, and they're just trying to organize, close down Clemson players when they come near the box, but they're dropping, and they're working well together right now. played into the feet of Kamari Smith, who turns and just misses the far post again. But this is great from Clemson. They're taking their time, and Callum Johnson plays to the feet. Kamari Smith does a good job of using his body to turn, putting himself in a position to get it back on a strong left foot and take the shot. Create your own shot. Use the space that you're given. And he spoke to Dallin and I last year and earlier this season to say, I need to take more of an initiative to score goals and create for my team. You know, missing Robbie Robinson, who went first pick in the draft, going to Inter Miami. He knows he has to pick up the slack for this Clemson team. And Mayaka fouls Daniel Wright. And Philip Mayaka has to be careful, because this is starting to be a trend where he's committing fouls, unnecessary fouls. He picks up an early yellow card, and then he has to change his game. Here it is, Daniel Wright looks, but then he knows, I'm going to dribble. I'm going to take him on the dribble. Mayaka mistimes the challenge, and Wright goes down right away. He's lucky to get away with a card, but that's all the opportunities he's going to have to have a foul and not get a yellow card. I think he's used up all his freebies, so he's got to be smart. And if you're watching, you can see how Duke are playing. They're using the pace of Scotty Taylor to play him into the channels, try and get mismatched 1v1. So Clemson have to be smart with the cover. When Oscar steps, Justin Malou goes in behind, slides in behind, and vice versa. Doing a good job of taking away that space in front of the 18. And so Clemson have to be patient. Don't rush. Don't force balls into bad spots. Keep swinging it side to side, and eventually you'll find that mismatch. You'll find that gap. Offside there, but Mayaka finds the ball to the wide area. Felipe Fernandez Salvadores slips in Grayson Barber, who was off. Kamari Smith was just a couple of steps away from putting that in the back of the net, but again, it's encouraging. You gotta make those runs in behind. Try and pull Duke players out of position. This is where you need leaders like Callum Johnson, who's replacing Tanner Dietrich, who left for Nashville. Being able to tell his team, slow down, it's okay. We have control of this game, but we have to take our time. Or at certain times, play with a little bit more pace. And Duke gets the opener. They have the transition play. They opened up Clemson, and they hurt him. Stephen O'Connell, who came in to replace Jack Doran, gets the game opener for Duke.
Goal number 2, Stephen O'Connell, assist by number 9, Scotty Taylor.
Mayaka plays in the ball to Callum Johnson, who's back pass, didn't get enough on it. And then they played the 1-2. Stephen O'Connell goes near post. George Marks comes off his line. And it was just a well-taken shot for Stephen O'Connell to catch it near post. The first time, doesn't allow George Marks to get his feet set. And he just slips it underneath the right hand of George Marks to go up 1-0. Duke Blue Devils. And it's self-inflicted from Clemson. Callum Johnson with a poor back pass. It gets picked off. And Duke come right down the center of the field, counterattack, bang, 1-0. Now that's going to give Duke a ton of confidence going forward. And there's a foul on the play. As Kamari Smith was breaking into the attacking half. Now Clemson get back on the ball. You see Mike Noonan. He's on the bench just saying, come on, guys. Pick up the energy. Again, Duke pressing, being able to pick off the passes from the Clemson back line. And the ball launched over the top. It's predictable. It's exactly how Duke want Clemson to play. Now for a team that came in to this match, the underdogs like Duke, you get that early goal. It plays right into your advantage because you were planning on sitting anyways and defending. And it really forces Clemson. And here, O'Connell again. They're creating chances off of Clemson's turnovers. And these are just mistakes. Whether fatigue's playing a part, here's Mayaka. It's a giveaway. O'Connell goes right for goal again with the left foot. This time George Marks is up to the task, but Clemson cannot continue to make these mistakes. They're just hurting themselves and allowing Duke to get into the game. And Duke can just defend and force Clemson to keep coming higher up the pitch, higher up the pitch. And so the counterattack will be on. Appeals for off on Grayson Barber, but the ball continues to move around the pitch. Justin Malou and Oscar Ogren, the center backs for Clemson, keep getting higher up the field into the midfield because Duke are just camping back, sitting back, parking the bus. And that is okay when you have the 1-0 lead. And they're narrow. So now, if you're Clemson, get those outside backs higher up the field. Pinch in your wingers. The long ball from Duke out of This is the current ACC South standings. As you see, UNC at the top.
Substitutions for
They're
Duke.
2-0 with
Number
wins over
18,
Duke and Clemson. Wake Forest with the loss to Clemson last week. NC State, 3 losses. But if this result were to hold, it would be massive.
Luis Felipe Fernandez Salvador.
Clemson made some subs. Duke made some subs as well. Nick Periano, the Philadelphia Union Academy product, coming in for Connor Kelly. Nicholas Macri coming in for Scotty Taylor up top. And then Brandon Parrish coming in for Luis Felipe Fernandez Salvador. John Martin ready to throw it in for Clemson. Grayson Barber turns, gets in the box. The cross, just across the 6. And it's out for a throw-in. Duke do well to recover. But another opportunity where Clemson are getting closer. Stroud, long ball, in behind. George Marks does a good job of anticipating the long ball, and that's what's going to have to happen when you get your center backs high up the field. Throw in from John Martin, and Grayson Barber does a good job of turning and plays it across the 6, but no one's there, and he's pointing. Make some runs in the box. That's where you want the big James Brighton, your target striker, to be camped out right in the middle of the 6 there, or making a run, as well as the far post winger where Kamari Smith should be. And Clemson have picked up the tempo now. Duke have to continue to slow the game down. On throw-ins, take your time. Milk the clock. Continue to be physical and disrupt Clemson. Again, another throw-in. Great tactical game plan from Duke's head coach, John Kerr. And Stephen O'Connell catches Callum Johnson, foul. But this is urgency. You don't have time to sit there lie around, complain about the foul. You got to get right back up on your feet and try and play. James Brighton into the box. He finds Callum Johnson, who made a good run, but it's Kamari Smith. He holds it up for Mayaka, whose shot goes just 3 feet wide to the left. On Mayaka's weaker foot. James Brighton makes a good run to the box. Tried to find Callum Johnson, but Kamari Smith came to steal it and try and lay it off for Mayaka, who puts it on his left foot. He was saying, hey, Kamari, play it to my right. And those are just small details where from a college player to a professional, it's knowing the tendencies. Who am I laying the ball back to? Is he right-footed or left-footed? And if he's right-footed, you have to put it at an angle so that he can hit it first time with the right foot. And it was the right pace, the right touch on the pass. It was just to the wrong foot. And those are just small, small details that separate, the college player from the professional level. Great individual work from Kamari Smith, but the pass just behind Grayson Barber. And these are the matches you love to see. ACC matches, quality opponents, one after another. You can't have a letdown. You have to take every game the same way, the same approach. Whether it's Duke, whether it's NC State, whether it's Wake Forest, and you come off an emotional high, beating the #1 team at home, Wake Forest. You're coming off a loss to UNC, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, we're back on track. Now you find yourself down 1-0 in the first half at home to Duke. It shows the emotional waves of the college player. And so continuing to fight through it. And so Clemson now, get back in it, stay aggressive. And for Duke, we've done so well for a large portion of this match. Continue to be resolute. Strong defending, be physical. And so Clemson have to get back to playing quick, using the whole width of the pitch.
I don't know if you need me, Chuck, or want me back, but I'm back, baby.
Yes. Hey, I needed you back. You're my teammate.
Folks, we are in historic Riggs Field, more or less. You do know in this COVID world, we're calling these games remotely. Our tech folks are outstanding. They're doing their best. We have some issues. I got bumped off. Charlie was calling a fantastic match, and unfortunately, I'm back for you to navigate a little bit and read a lot of promos, which are coming up momentarily. John Martin trying to put the cross in. So, Chuck, obviously I saw the goal for Stephen O'Connell. You called a great goal. How does this all unfolding right now in your mind? How surprised are you by what Duke has been able to accomplish in this match to this point?
I'm not surprised because of how they set up. What allows this to really work is when you defend like this and you frustrate the opponent and you take advantage of the space they give you. And for Clemson, the expectation was you're going to come here, you're going to press, you're going to be high up the field, you're going to get numbers forward.
Grayson Barber now tries to curl it back off the post, falls to break, and it's in the back of the net. The Tigers tie it up. 1-1 here in Clemson.
And the big man gets his goal. And it doesn't have to be pretty, but it's about being in the box, being there at the right time, and finishing. And it was Grayson Barber, the winger we talked about coming into this match, who looks like he's ready for the challenge. Taking his player 1v1, creates a little bit of space, tries to bend it around the keeper to the far post. The rebound comes out, and James Brighton, being a striker, being an opportunistic striker, gets on the end of it, doesn't give up on it, and is able to get his toe on it to poke it to the far post. The shot had Will Pulisic beat. It comes back out, and James Brighton reads it, fights, and gets his foot on it. Well done. 1-1. Game on.
First goal of the season for the redshirt sophomore. And one of the team captains at a big moment. He just outdueled Antonio Lopez, the freshman we've talked about. The youth of this team, Lopez just could not fight off Brighton's body. Brighton was able to get by him and slip it past Pulisic to now knock this game at 1. Push forward to Barber again. In the aftermath of that, a couple substitutions. Isaiah Reed came on for Camarnie Smith. Miguel Ramirez comes on for Stephen O'Connell, the goal scorer. Ramirez, another one of these freshmen that's going to have, as John Kerr told us, more of an opportunity today because of that injury to Jack Doran. Ramirez is making his collegiate debut, the Atlanta United Academy product. We'll see how he fares in such a high-level match right now. Johnson head up.
And Dallin, as I was saying earlier, it was playing into Duke's hands. When you defend like this and then you get that early goal, so then Clemson has to throw numbers forward, which opens up more space in behind for you.
Nice 1-2 touch. Barber trying to get end line, and it'll be a goal kick. Yep, folks, let's tell you about Sunday Best coming up on Sunday. 4 great events across 3 sports here on ACC Network. At noon, we start with Duke and Carolina in field hockey showdown, followed by a women's soccer match between Miami and Pitt at 1:30 Eastern. Then it's volleyball doubleheader. Pitt faces Notre Dame, Virginia Tech, battle in Blacksburg. That's our Sunday best. It's all right here on ACCN and the ESPN app. And Charlie, anytime you reference what you said earlier, you can just leave that out because I don't know what you said earlier. So it's all news to me, maybe not the audience.
You were there for the pregame? Come on, now.
That's true. I was there for 5 minutes. You're right.
And Sterling Russell just checked in for James Brighton.
And Brighton, again, as we mentioned earlier, that he was still trying to get back to full fitness, so he gets that goal, gets a little bit of a rest. Maybe an opportunity here. Nick Pariano cuts it back, but the shot right into the hands of George Marks.
Christopher Godarson. He was like, oh, I want that one back. Just didn't get enough on it.
Back to Pulisic.
We talked about Will Pulisic having to have a phenomenal game tonight. And there was absolutely nothing he could have done on that goal. It's all about reactions. It comes off the far post, and Grayson Barber's movement has been fantastic tonight. He gets on it, creates his own shot, whips it around. Nope. No, I don't know any keepers, or I don't know too many keepers who are going to make that save if it does go in the back of the net, or if it's on frame. It comes out, and then the reaction from James Brighton as a striker. Right place, right time. And here's the foul. Callum Johnson catches Peter Stroud.
Duke scored from, it was more to the sideline, but a similar distance here. A good ball played in by Matthias Frick, and that man, not that man, but Lewis McGarvey scored the opener against NC State in their last match. As Callum Johnson checks out for Quinn McNeil. Mike Noonan subbing a lot more in this match. A lot was taken out of his guys from that Wake Forest game. Only 14 men outfielders played in that match. He said since then it's been recovery and film, and get ready for this match tonight. Floated in, looking for Lopez. Martin will pop it out for a throw.
And that's the challenge for Mike Noonan. You play 6 players in the Wake Forest game that went 90 minutes. Then Callum Johnson goes 86, Kamari Smith goes 84, James Brighton gets 76 minutes. So finding that balance, because not only is there physical fatigue, there's the mental fatigue. And there's that roller coaster. You win a massive match, and then you come down, you're playing a Duke, you're not feeling 100%. So sometimes it's hard to get up and be that same level that you had against Wake Forest.
And that was a high level against Wake Forest. But you're right, it's not easy to always replicate that. And a last-ditch tackle there by Matthias Frick. And Barber wants a yellow. He may get it
yellow card
for Mark Gorak.
It's a yellow card.
And he does.
What I love about Grayson Barber is we saw in the goal against Wake Forest where he passed it to Kamari Smith. He gets into space. He'll get taken down, but he pops right up. It's a foul, but he doesn't play for the fouls. He'd rather say, hey, give me the advantage, let me get going. Matthias Frick was late. It's a foul, preventing the counterattack.
That's exactly what he did in that goal against Wake Forest. He got taken out. Ref smartly said play on, and he just kept playing through. He served the ball right to Kamari Smith. They were up 1-0.
He's just the Energizer Bunny. He's like, he's always going. He's always moving. I love that about him, that he just has this desire to get forward. He was good last year. He had 10 goals, 9 assists. But I didn't see him have this kind of presence in the matches. And it might have been overshadowed because you have Robbie Robinson, who was stellar last year, and you have Kamari Smith, who had 13 goals and 5 assists. But he is well-rounded. He impacts the game. He makes great runs. He comes in, combines, good feet. I mean, this was a U17 residency national team player.
So Mark Gorak coming over to talk to Mike Noonan. He is putting on the headset for review. And again, in review in college soccer can be if the ball actually crossed the goal line, disciplinary reasons, or mistaken identity. And this was just a disciplinary situation that maybe Gorak is double checking he has the right player that was disciplined. We're trying to confirm. Or maybe they're reviewing this potential elbow.
There is
from Oscar Ogren into nothing. Ian Murphy.
He's just trying to spin and grab his shoulder to turn. Nothing there.
Great. Take a look at your officials tonight. Mark Gorak in the center, Tariq Belladar, AR1, Wilmar Soriano, AR2, and Claudio Nadella as the 4th official.
You know what? John Kerr has had that hairstyle since I was 14. The slick back. I'm so impressed that he's able to still maintain it.
Looks great.
Sharp.
Looking good, Coach. And for those who don't know, if you may have, did you tell the people before, Chuck, that he coached you at the Boston Bolts, your club where you grew up?
Well, this is how it started. I had to compete against his club, and every year they would beat us in the State Cup Finals in Massachusetts. And I said, after the 3rd time, I said, I've had enough. I'll join your squad. And so then I played for him for a couple of years, and you know, he was a striker, so I really loved learning from him because he showed me, you know, certain movements around the box, but he also took me to Europe for the first time, and I got a chance to go to Glasgow, Scotland, and play against Celtic and Rangers Academy teams, go to England, play against Tottenham, and see those matches live. We went to a professional game. We saw Tottenham versus Lazio. It was a friendly, but Crespo was playing. You know, it opened my eyes. So I always talk about, you know, the credit that he deserves in my development of being able to push me, give me some ambition, have me kind of see, you know, where my dream was, which was always playing in Europe, and to be able to touch it and see it, I'll always be grateful for John Kerr.
It's well said, and it's really important to have people to show you what is capable in your life, to give you a path. And he walked that path. In 1986, he was the National Player of the Year for Duke, won a national championship with that team, the last time Duke did it. Then he went and played himself over in the Premier League at the top level. Wasn't the Premier League then, but the top level of English football. He walked that path, and he showed you how to do it. He helped you walk that path as well, as Amir Daly goes into the book with the yellow.
The ball switched. Charlie Asensio takes a touch behind, and Daly just catches him right in the stomach. It's a yellow card. And now you have Amir Daly on yellow and Matthias Frick.
Played over to Mayaka, looking in the middle. Until John Martin making the overlapping run. Forward to Sterling Russell. He tries to get the early ball in. Back to Martin. Nice touch by Matt Leszewski. An opportunity for Bernie. Was he taken down? No! Matthias Frick apparently with a potential goal-saving tackle there. The captain from Austria.
The ball gets played in and laid off for Isaiah Reed, and Matthias Frick comes in. Ooh, that was close as can be. But I'm good with a no call there. I think he came across and didn't get it initially, but as he continued to slide, he made contact with the ball.
I know our guys in the control room are looking and trying to see, give me another angle whenever we have a break in action, because you're right, that was about as close gets. You can't tell if he got the ball, and the ball is what contacted Reed. It was really difficult, but either way, Mark Gorak said play on. He had a great view of it.
but it's that quick combination play. Into the feet, and here it is. It's a great challenge. It really is a well-timed challenge from Matthias Frick.
The senior captain for Austria, has logged a ton of games. This is his 57th game, his 57th start for Duke. And coming up big when they needed to in the back line there. Played at a high level at Austria at a club for many years before coming over here to the States. A versatile guy, can play your fullback, your center back, or center midfield like he did last year.
And Cameron Kerr, John Kerr's son, just came in.
Opportunity almost for Chris Matlashewski, but he couldn't control it. Deep shot almost from Mayaka. As you mentioned, Cameron Kerr inserted into the match, 6 blue. Coach John Kerr's son, the sophomore. Turned over there. Ian Murphy on the ball, settle it down, give a little possession to Blue Devils for a moment here. Frick, poor pass to try to play it out wide to Gardarsson. And there's Cameron Kerr, sophomore, played at the North Carolina Fusion Academy. We talked last year to John Kerr about that opportunity to coach his son. His son has not played in many matches, only his 3rd appearance in these 2 years, but the chance to coach his son, be around his son, spend that time with his son has been unique. He also said just more broadly this year with COVID, the one positive they had, these guys are all living now, as well, all athletes at Duke right now, in a hotel off campus, and they're always doing stuff together. All the classes of guys are integrated together, and having the opportunity to really have these unique experiences and bond has been cool, he said.
It's just a different world for these college kids on Dallin.
Totally. What these kids have sacrificed, what they have done across every sport, the administration, the opportunity they've had, and how they've capitalized on it to do everything possible to be able to play, shows amazing discipline and commitment that, quite frankly, as a former athlete, I don't know if I could have done it, but they're doing it.
I know I could have done it, but it would have been extremely difficult. I'll tell you that. So I give a ton of credit to, yes, the players, but the coaches and the administrators to be able to say, you know what, guys, in order for us to play this game that we love, this opportunity that we have, you have to be smart. We have to be disciplined. And if you can sacrifice that, we're going to be able to get on the field and play. And so, you know, for us to be able to call these games and still see, you know, the joy, the smiles on the faces, that's awesome. It really
100%. Is. Yeah, I mean, everybody at these schools and all the healthcare folks, all the trainers, the medical staff, everybody, all the people at ESPN that is making this possible. We're all grateful to be here. Gardarsson tries to play it in. He'll go out for a corner. 3rd corner of the match for Duke. Off of Quinn McNeil. See Justin Malou down right now. This Duke team was really good in set pieces in the last game, a 3-1 win over North Carolina State. Scored 2 goals directly off set pieces. One was off a rebound, but originated from the set piece. And here's what, taking a look at Malou as he just kind of went down awkwardly.
His foot got caught in the turf, the studs. It just seemed like a weird bend.
Malou, the senior, originally from Senegal. Senegal came to Clemson from Montverde Academy. Was the all-tournament team back in 2017. He started 44 games now in his career. This is his 55th appearance for this Tigers crew. He is an integral guy, one of the seniors. Again, this defense has been really good this year. Only allowed 2 goals coming into this match. The 3rd scored by Stephen O'Connell, but he's played every minute of every game, as has Oscar Ogren, the 2 center backs, the 2 rocks in the back there for this squad.
Oh, it's good to see him pop back on his feet.
Hopefully he's so good. And just want to let you know about Saturday morning. You've got the huddle coming your way. Jordan Cornett, Eric McClain, EJ Manuel, Mark Rick. Get you ready for ACC football. 10 a.m. Eastern, a great slate, triple header on the network. They get you set for everything coming your way on ACCN, but also more broadly across the ESPN family of networks, as we've got all 15 teams in the ACC in football are on action on Saturday. So the huddle gets you set for everything at 10 a.m. All right, Ben Erkins, the sub, the freshman. He was a two-time Gatorade Player of the Year in South Carolina. He is now on the field in place of Malou. So you lose one of your leaders to get Erkins his first ever appearance in a collegiate match.
Congratulations, Mr. Erkins.
Low ball played in. Out for another corner. You see the fans amassed on the hill back there. We'll come back to that in a second.
Godarson tries to go near post, whip it low. Asensio's there.
Taking care of the
Those balls are
near
different.
post.
When it's bouncing, you really can't do anything else.
There are 1,000 fans allowed in the building as the ball's curled in and headed up. Knocked out. But you see those, you saw those fans that are lining the field wanting to catch a glimpse of this Tiger squad as we're at the capacity for allowed in the stadium. Quick throw in. And as we tick down here, the final 10 seconds, Duke jumped out to the early lead by head Stephen O'Connell, but then James Brighton equalized. Chuck, your thoughts on the first 45?
It was a great game plan from Duke. They really frustrated Clemson, and Clemson just grew within that first half. They didn't give up, and then they got that equalizer from James Brighton.
James Brighton did give them the equalizer, but now we'll see what happens in the second half. Before we get to that point, we're back here at historic Riggs Field. We'll tell you a story of why these Clemson players wear the Unity shirt and what it means to them after the break. Up 1-1. Second 45 underway. Mark Gorak is your official in the middle. Mike Noonan going with the number of players that finished the half, not necessarily started the game. He liked where they were at. One being Brandon Parrish right there in front of the ball. Chris Matlashewski's in the mix, 19 there. James Brighton, 25, is your goal scorer in the 34th minute. Amir Daly comes forward. Freshman from Elmont, New York. Daniel Wright working, able to get it back to Daly. A chance to clip it in there. It gets to the ground, but John Martin able to play it out.
And you
Puffed forward.
Because of Justin Malou leaving the game, Asensio moves in to the left center back position, and you have Isaiah Reed now playing at the left back spot.
And Justin Malou, the senior center back, went down, and that is Isaiah Reed now playing at that left back spot. Charlie Asensio is a all ACC performer from that left back spot. Second team all ACC last year. He's going to tuck in. The sophomore Reed now will be the outside back. You see in the bottom right corner of your screen. Philip Mayaka on the ball now, though. Again, this was a Clemson team that only allowed 2 goals in 4 games. That was the second best goals against average in the league coming into this match. And late foul there on Peter Stroud, 14 blue. Stroud coming back from 2 years at West Ham United, the academy. Oof.
He just lays his body right into McNeil.
Stroud's a fiery guy, but he played it, like I said, at a high level. West Ham United is in the Premier League. It's been in the Premier League for a long time. He was part of that academy system for 2 years, so he's played at a high level as a youngster. When you watch this team on film, you talked to John Kerr about it, he said he wears his heart on his sleeve, and it is pretty evident.
You want those fiery characters in the midfield. They set the tone. They make teams work for every inch of space. They're getting to passing lanes. They're tough tacklers. I loved playing with players who played with a chip on their shoulder.
Reed there picks it off. Reed taken out after getting rid of the pass. That was Lewis McGarvey taking out Reed. One of the
haven't called his
freshmen on
name
this Duke
much
squad
tonight, Dallin. We haven't called Lewis McGarvey's name that much tonight. This is a player who's really just gotten to passing lanes.
Nice touch by Brighton, trying to touch it around the defender. And you mentioned McGarvey before the game. You thought he would be an important piece of this puzzle for Duke to get a win. But he's been quiet as George Marks off the line to clear it out. There's Asensio to Reed. Right, good ball to Brighton. Tries to switch the play. But it ends up at the feet of Stroud.
And that's where you want your big man, just to settle it and play the easy ball. Just connect it. I don't need my striker switching the field. Just play a simple drop back thing, get back into position.
Connor Kelly looking for Scotty Taylor. Taylor lashed it at the shot attempt, though.
Daniel Wright plays the ball. Connor Kelly does a good job of using his body, getting in behind, taking the field that's given to him, lays it off, and he's complaining that he was fouled as he tried to make a run into the box for the give and go.
It was Oscar Ogren that made contact with Kelly. And there may be a review here. Yes, there is. Mark Gorak heading over to the review. And again, there are 3 reasons you can review in college soccer. If the ball actually crossed the goal line, for any disciplinary matter, should a card have been issued in an instance like this, or mistaken identity, was the wrong player identified with a disciplinary action. So Gorak is over at the replay booth. Let's take a look. There was a look early in the game, Ogren on the offensive side. They were accusing him of maybe throwing an elbow. Chuck, what do you think about that?
He used his body to prevent Connor Kelly from getting in the box. It's typical from a defender. This is what they do. They use their body. There's nothing malicious in it except preventing him from running clean into the box. There's no foul in that.
So essentially you're saying he's entitled to that space. And
yes.
Okay. And Mark Gorak says there's nothing there.
It's something defenders get away with, and it depends on the field, where it happens on the field. And in this case, Scotty Taylor took the shot. It wasn't a played into that space for him to get to. If Connor Kelly made a move and the ball was laid into his path, and then you saw Ogren use his body to prevent him out of nowhere, that's a foul. But in that case, there was no foul there.
Gotcha. Potential counterattacking opportunity. Stroud over to goal scorer O'Connell. Floats it in. Reed's there to get a piece of it. Falls to Daniel Wright. McGarvey. Nice touch by Stroud to get around Martin. Low ball played in, flicked on. Marks holds on to it.
Good distribution there by George Marks. But Sterling Russell absolutely crushed McGarvey. He takes a long touch, he tries to recover, and just only catches McGarvey's leg. That's a yellow card challenge right off the bat. He's lucky to escape with no card there.
I was going to say, you think he's lucky to potentially not have a red? I mean, he was high on his leg.
It was low, his studs were down. If it was any higher, it's a red card. But in this case, it was a yellow card challenge. And he walked away with nothing.
Wow. Sterling Russell escaping a little disciplinary action there, it looks like. And McGarvey down on the field now, the freshman from Belfast, Northern Ireland. Glentoran was his club there in Northern Ireland since he was 11 years old. Played on that senior team with grown men, 2018-19. He's also represented his country at the U12, U14, U18 level. Very high-level player. It's a freshman trying to essentially walk this one off.
Country down, lovely country. I had one of my fondest memories as a youth national team player, playing in the Milk Cup. It's a prestigious tournament there, where you have all the top clubs across the globe coming to Northern Ireland to play in this tournament in Belfast. and we happened to win the elite division with the U.S. Youth National Team, and we beat Northern Ireland in the final. But wonderful, wonderful country.
O'Connell tries to play it low. Over for a corner as Ogren was there. It's a good point when you think about the opportunities you just mentioned for yourself. This sport takes you all over the world and gives you some opportunity to see some pretty amazing places.
You're right about that, Dallin. And O'Connell continues to make an impact in this match. Makes a run in behind. Ogren gets his body there, clears it out for a corner. But Stephen McConnell wasn't expected to start. He fills in for Jack Doran, but he's been one of the better players for Duke when it comes to the attacking half.
Yeah, O'Connell's been good, the senior, in the stead of their captain Doran. Played in by Wright, in swinging ball. Mayaka will get on it and just clear it out. Connor Kelly trying to find himself some space. Pressured by Brandon Parrish. So how do you feel about Mike Noonan's substitution situation here? When Kamari Smith hasn't played many minutes. Grayson Barber, he's really worked in a lot of these younger players that have logged a lot of minutes, helped turn the tide here in the second part of the first half. He's sticking with them. How do you feel about that?
I would tell you right now, in Mike Noonan's mind and head right now, this is all I can do. I have to rest my guys. I have to give players a chance to play and rest and recover. And some of these other young guys who are now getting their first minutes under their belt are going to be better for it, that experience. The corner kick, near post target, and Scotty Taylor tries to catch George Marks at his near post. Nearly made it 2-1 for Duke. But again, this is kind of what Mike Noonan's forced with. You try and get the most out of players, but you can't run them into the ground. It's that emotional win over Wake Forest. Guys put in a lot of minutes, a lot of hard work.
Ian Murphy low ball played in, looking for Scotty Taylor, but broken up by Ogren.
And you can see the difference, Dallin. Wake Forest, they're pressing. They're high up the field. There's a lot of energy. They're active. Here, they don't have the legs. So you're trying to manage the game and figure out, okay, when we're going to attack as a team, when we're going to drop off a little bit. Maybe we invite Duke up higher up the field so we can create more space and behind for Grayson Barber and Kamari Smith to get into.
Long ball played in the channel. Brighton trying to chase it down. He's not going to get there. Let you know, tomorrow we got a great college football triple header coming your way on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Pittsburgh takes on Miami, and De'Ara King looking to come back from their loss last week against Clemson. Virginia at Wake Forest is up next at 4 o'clock. And then at 8, number 23, Virginia Tech hosts Boston College in Blacksburg in our ACC Network primetime matchup presented by Geico. Hokies coming off their loss against Carolina, had that dynamic rushing attack, Hendon Hooker under center. BC, Chuck, used to be known as ground and pound team, but Coach Hafley comes in there, Phil Jerkovic, they're throwing that ball all over the yard.
Let's go! Back to the heyday when we had Matt Ryan behind center, chucking touchdown passes left and right. That's what I want to see. All the BC alums, I'll tell you right now, we are pumped. We are pumped. BC's coming back alive.
There you go. Coming off that big win against Pitt, Phil Jerkovic hooking up passes with Zay Flowers, Hunter Long. They got a lot of options, a lot of weapons up there in Chestnut Hill.
See, you get it.
Substitutions for Clemson. Number 8, Callum Johnson replaces number 17, Quinn McNeil.
Got a couple of the starters now coming back in the game. Callum Johnson coming in for Quinn McNeil. Grayson Barber back in for Sterling Russell. And Kamari Smith back in for Chris Matlashewski. So you got your two all-league wingers, Smith and Barber back in the match. Callum Johnson, a fifth-year senior, back in this game, who had the turnover that led to the goal. And there, Brandon Parrish able to fight off the potential turnover, but eventually it gets to Connor Kelly.
That was a good reaction from the freshman. Brandon Parrish, you're in the game, you're trying to make a play, you get your pocket picked, but you win it right back. Well done. I just got a text message from the U.S. men's national team legend, John Harkes, who's tuning in. He said, Dallin, you're doing a good job.
Appreciate that, Harksey. I thought you were going to give me something that he really likes one of the players, but I like that you're on the focal point there.
Oh, he's giving you a shout out.
Well, Charlie, you had all the work in the first half because you were doing all the game by yourself, so I'm just here to help you out as these Tigers are trying to break the deadlock here.
Stop it.
And crowded out. Mark Gorak allows the quick restart. Brighton drops back, lays it off to Mayaka. Smith. Pinged out to Martin.
Okay, Clemson students.
Martin might have a chance to cross it. Gets deflected, and it'll end up in the arms of Pulisic. We said it, there's 1,000 fans allowed in the building, and the band is here. It's a good atmosphere. They've got people socially distanced. It's become pretty typical here at Riggs Field. They've won 20 straight matches here, and this crowd supports this quality program they have. Parrish took his head eye off the ball. Almost lost it again in a little bit of a dangerous place, but is able to hustle back to keep it under possession.
Now Clemson are trying to figure out how can we expose this Duke team. They're really sitting back. They're defending. Okay, if we keep possession and we move the ball, we get them to chase, when do we attack? Get your outside backs high up the field. Create those gaps, those mismatches.
Barber able to keep it in play. Brighton was trying to pick out Barber, but great recovery there on the far side by O'Connell to pick that off.
You see Duke are playing with 10 behind the ball. When we say
just wanted to ask you about that.
They are parking the bus.
Are they parking, but they're still looking to counter? Oh, hold on. Yes. Isaiah Reed, here's a ton of space behind Daly. Early ball played in. Nobody on the back post except the blue jersey.
Substitutions for Duke, number 11, Nicholas Bacri.
Luis Felipe Fernandez Salvador checks back in as you take a look at the replay.
Isaiah Reed, he's got his head up, but no one's in the box. There wasn't a single Clemson player in the box when he crossed that ball. So James Brighton's got to be in there. Grayson Barber's got to be in there. Kamari Smith.
In that instance, should he have taken one more touch because when you look up and nobody's there? Should he continue on, or did he make the right decision and nobody made the run?
You have two options. You continue on or you cut it back. And so the Duke defenders drop into a line around the penalty spot, and then you wait for those oncoming midfielders who are making late runs out of the midfield to play them into space. And then the game starts to open up because now Duke has to step forward to stop that midfielder, and then you can play into the small channels, diagonals for Kamari Smith or James Brighton.
Just crossing the bottom of the hour, that was Charlie Davies. I'm Dallin Cuff. 1-1 here from historic Riggs Field. Tigers and the Blue Devils. Right now, the Blue Devils are 2-1 in the South region in the ACC standings. They are in good position with 2 wins over NC State. Clemson right now is 1-1. They did beat the #1 team in the nation on Tuesday night. That's Wake Forest, but they lost last week to UNC in a last-second header. So this is a critical game, especially for Clemson as it relates to getting some points here, as they are 1-1 and Duke at 2-1. Again, only 6 matches played within conference play. The top 4 in the region out of the 5 go on to the quarterfinals of the ACC tournament. Offside call. And a North Region matchup. Syracuse and Louisville are in the second half right now, up in upstate and central New York. Syracuse is up 1-0 with 28 minutes to play in that match. That would be a big win for the Cuse and Ian McIntyre's crew. Johnson dinks it out to Martin. Martin, first time ball, looking for Barber, battling with Frick, and Frick muscles him off shoulder to shoulder. Barber's still down. Philip Mayaka, 20, just closed down the ball. Not called his name much. He's the reigning freshman of the year. Mac Herman Trophy semifinalist. I know, Charlie, you think one of the best midfielders in the country, but this game has kind of been indicative of his season. He's been pretty quiet in these first 4 games.
Quiet. He's rushed passes, committing silly fouls, putting himself in jeopardy when he pick up an early.
Martin plays it in, looking for Smith. Almost got his head on it.
But it's the definition of sophomore slump. That's what I've seen so far.
How would you recommend him trying to get out of that? I know Mike Noonan's trying to just tell him not to try to do too much. He feels like he's sometimes trying to force things. Is that the biggest issue after this replay?
Playing simple. And here it is. John Martin whips in a good ball curling, and it's just too high, just an inch too high for Kamari Smith. If it's a little lower, that's fine in the back of the net. But that's a good run from Kamari Smith coming from the outside wing position.
Stroud looked like he was taken down. And at first, Mark Gorak let them play on, which was the right call because it almost looked like Nicholas Macri was going to be able to run onto it. But they're going to have a free kick right outside the area, dead center here.
And Peter Stroud coming into that final third, and Ogren uses his arm to put him off balance. And Oscar Ogren's a physical center back. As soon as he's beat, he's going to foul you. He's smart. He's intelligent. And fortunate for Clemson, he was able to put Peter Stroud off balance. So he has to try this off-balance pass to the feet of Macri. It works out for Clemson. Now it's a foul. It's a dangerous spot.
Should that have been a yellow for Ogren?
It should have been, correct.
I concur. Mark Gorak did not. Ogren's had a number of issues today that could have been, you could have made an argument for yellows. He's come out scot-free, the sophomore center back from Sweden. So over the ball, Daniel Wright and Nick Periano. Periano, a freshman, scored the game winner in their first win of the season against NC State in overtime, or in the last minute, I should say, in the 90th minute.
And both Periano's free kicks were low along the ground.
This is right, though. Ooh, wrong-footed marks, but it was just inches wide.
He thought it was in. Marks froze. It was hoping that it wasn't on goal, but he goes for over the wall. It's curled, and he had the keeper beat.
There's a foul the other way. A lot of contact there. Antonio Lopez. He thought it was in. Chuck, I was winding up to sound like Andres Cantor. I thought that was a goal, no doubt, man.
Here it is, Kamari Smith using his pace. And Antonio Lopez, shoulder to shoulder. That's not a foul for me. That's called strength, bigger body. He used it well.
And a freshman from Vegas, Lopez, part of the Seattle Sounders Academy. Now you see the Blue Devils have struggled with allowing goals from set pieces. Low ball played in. We'll have another set piece now. Lewis McGarvey protecting that near post. He shook off that tackle he took earlier in the half. Fernandez Salvador to take the corner. The Ecuadorian junior had the game-winning goal against Wake Forest. Their first corner of the match. In swinging back post, right in the hands of Will Pulisic. We have to mention, it's obligatory to be mentioned, Will Pulisic is the cousin of Christian Pulisic, the now Chelsea standout in the Premier League. U.S. men's national team star as well. They both were playing at Dortmund before Pulisic went to, as Christian went to Chelsea. Will was there too, played for the under-19 team. Had about 8 appearances, but eventually made his way back here to Duke. He went and had that experience in his gap year. He did it after school. High school, he went over to Europe and decided to come back, and now the senior keeper is one of the best in the business here. Early ball played in. Daniel Wright running into the attacking third. Nice cutback. And no foul will be called. Stroud dispossesses Johnson. Nice use of his body there by Macri. Murphy. O'Connell, low ball played in. Ogren's there again.
That's good from Duke again. The hold-up play, bring players into the attack. Ian Murphy getting down the left with O'Connell. Whips in that ball for Macri. And again, Ogren has to be on his toes. Reads the play well, clears it out for a corner.
Miguel Ramirez comes back in the game. The freshman comes in for Daniel Wright. And Christopher Godarson comes in for Stephen O'Connell. O'Connell's the goal scorer. And Ramirez, the freshman. Lanny, sorry, Chuck, go ahead.
This is where Duke just whip it into the box. Look, they pile all the numbers around the keeper, make it a scrum.
And swinging ball, punched out by Marks. Daly tried to pop it back into the fray. Murphy will try to do the same. Pariano. Grayson Barber trying to track it down. Good use. Center fielder trying to find a fly ball. We might have a chance for Smith. Smith, 1v1 with Murphy, trying to turn it back to his right. Good help by Lopez. And Smith did not commit the foul, they say.
Good work on both sides of the ball from Kamari Smith.
John Martin in space. Mayaka pressed by Pariano. Reed attacking Ramirez. Reed gonna draw the foul in a dangerous area. 2 freshmen there, Daly and Ramirez. Got in a little bit of trouble with Reed, the sophomore.
That's good stuff by Reed, playing at the left back position, trying to use his pace to get in behind. He gets fouled by Ramirez, goes down. Now they get a free kick in a crucial spot in the attacking third. He gets his body in front, does a good job, and Ramirez takes him down, catches the back leg.
Fernandez Salvador, low driven ball. All ACC's coming your way, folks. 10 Eastern. Actually, just when we're off air here, I should say, because it is 1-1, so this goes to OT. We're not going anywhere. Kelsey Riggs, hold tight in the studio. She's got Katie George joining her to break down some of the games coming up this weekend. Katie's on the road at Virginia Tech, I believe, and I'll be joining to talk about soccer and some basketball. So don't miss that coming up after we're done here. Kamari Smith, a foot race with Lopez, but he's able to win it and knock it back to Pulisic.
Now, Kamari Smith has pace, but in that instance, bring Lopez closer to you before you take that touch around. You want to bait him in first, because otherwise Antonio Lopez can read it and just retreat towards goal to cut you off.
Stroud had a little 4v4 opportunity there, but he played the ball early and Agro was able to cut it out. avoid any danger. Isaiah Reed looking to bend it around to Barber. Fernandez Salvador call for the foul on Ramirez. All right, Chuck, less than 20 minutes left. How do you feel about where Duke is? Well, replay coming your way in just a second.
And Felipe Fernandez Salvador bumps Ramirez. The freshman gives him the little bump, the foul, and says, come on, get up.
Come on, get up. Played long at the channel for O'Connell. Be a throw.
But yes, Clemson have to pick up the energy. You get into these periods where, okay, it's 1-1. We've slowed Duke has done a good job of slowing the game down, playing to their strengths. I commend John Kerr on setting his team up right for this match and getting them to understand how they're going to get a result versus Clemson. You watch the UNC game, slow things down, be physical, disrupt the play, make them predictable, and Clemson haven't adjusted. They get that goal early from the individual brilliance of Grayson Barber and James Brighton being aware of the situation, but you need more of that. There needs to be more creativity to break down a team that has two lines of four.
And you see Clemson's ranks here in shots per game, shots on goal, and goals. Their final product, as Mike Noonan told us, especially the first couple games, UAB game comes to mind, as well as the UNC game, missed opportunities. So they're creating a ton. They're not really finishing a lot. This game, it doesn't seem they've created a bunch. And that's more of a testament to Duke, I would assume. As John Martin hops up.
John Martin takes a touch. It doesn't go where he wants, and Stroud just comes through it and catches Martin across the top of the leg. Peter Stroud plays like he's in the English Premiership. He plays strong. He's tough in the challenge. He gives 100% in every tackle.
There is no doubt about that, Chuck. I mean, he plays with the pedigree of a guy that's been in a system like that, and he is tough. He's physical. Good young player. Overall, it's the first time we've seen Duke in person. I mean, this is a young crew. I know you've commended how John Kerr set it up and how these guys are playing, but what do you think about some of this young talent in particular on this roster?
I think there's a lot of potential. I don't think they're anywhere near, I think, at the level that they can be, the quality that they have. It's still, for me, raw. A lot of players who are raw, who are young in their development, but you can learn a lot from playing under John Kerr. So I think he's got a good mix of veteran savvy, as well as these young freshmen, the underclassmen, who are trying to make a name for themselves, and you're playing in the top conference in college soccer. So when you're playing Clemson, you're playing UNC, you're playing Wake, you're playing some of these teams week in and week out, you're only going to develop it and understand the speed of play.
Another foul there called an Agram for the shove in the back. Sophomore center back. Played every minute so far this year. All ACC freshman team. The band making their presence felt tonight from historic Riggs Field. Looking for their 20th straight home win here. Isaiah Reed for the throw-in. Just joining us, Reed, who normally plays in a forward role for this team, is playing left back right now. Justin Malou, the senior center back, was hurt in the first half. Charlie Asensio, the all-league left back, is now in at the left center back position, so Reed is playing left back. Mike Noonan had to make a number of changes for a team that played a brutal midweek game 1, a 2-1 win over Wake Forest, the #1 team in the nation. Now they're on the attack here with a chance. Ball played in, Brighton trying to arrive, but headed out by Lopez, but not far enough. Fernandez Salvador gets to Brighton, trying to turn. Couldn't do it to Nick Periano. He's got his head up. Good feed from Periano. Only 17 years old, number 18 is. Striding forward to Stroud, looking for help.
And McGarvey did a good job of using his body versus the thick James Brighton.
We saw in the first half, Brighton just out-muscle Lopez to score the goal that tied the game. This situation a little different as McGarvey's able to stand tall at 6'2". This is McGarvey now stepping into the attacking third, out to Ian Murphy. He's got his head up. Leaves it for Periano. He floats it in. Mayaka gets a head on it. Might be an opportunity here. Falls! Oh! Nick Macri is going to rue that one.
And then you see Periano get into the final third, takes a good touch, and a delicate chip that Mayaka flicks up. Macri finds himself in a good position, but gets under it. It's played in. He's on. Ooh.
Was Mayaka playing him off on the far side there? Because the flag, they play that from a goal kick spot. The flag never went up in that instance.
I think he was a half step off, but the flag stayed down. And it's one of those opportunities that comes. Your eyes get big. You're like, here's the game-winning goal. It's so easy. I've done this every day in training my whole life, and you sky it.
Every time I see that, I'm sorry. I do have flashbacks to Belgium 2014 and Chris Wondolowski in extra time.
Oh, God. My stomach.
I can't help it. It's just what comes into my head, folks. For any soccer fan out there, you know what I'm talking about. Macri, the senior, born in Boston but hails from Buenos Aires, Argentina.
I just got a text from Andy Reeby from Major League Soccer and Cano Smith of Birmingham Legion. They said, don't bring up that again.
Well, Cano got his shout out. I'm getting text. Charlie, you really rolled the ball down the hill here with the Harks text message, because now I'm getting text left and right about this stuff. I'm glad people are tuning in to see the best soccer in the college soccer in the country, though. Ball driven in, to Marks' hands, though. But a lot of these guys are looking for players.
Rising stars.
They want to see players, and that's where you come on a Friday night. ACC men's soccer. I like it.
Prime time.
Pulisic. Distribution lacking.
Dallin, when you see all these ACC players from last year when we were calling games and seeing them them transcend in Major League Soccer, making that adjustment, being impact players, it just goes to show the quality that we're watching. That maybe, some of these players, they weren't standouts like Alistair Johnson, yet he's playing every match for Nashville. Here it is, Clemson, Isaiah Reed, open, tries to find Kamari Smith, who took off, but that ball's got to be played right at the 6, right at that corner 6, and Kamari Smith's got to cut inside Ian Murphy. That's where you do the juke to the right to think that Ian Murphy's going to, have to defend to the back post, and you cut in front of him.
And Smith can't connect with Martin. And you mentioned some of these guys that are having a great career in MLS, just getting things going. These are the team ranked, how many guys they have roster-wise in MLS. But you mentioned some of the guys, particularly last year. I mean, Daryl Dike from UVA, he's been great at Orlando City. He was such a physical presence, you did wonder how that would translate, but man, it has translated. Henry Kessler's been great at New England Revolution. You talked about Alistair Johnson, who wasn't as heralded maybe, but man, is he consistent. And it's been fun to see these kids in the collegiate level, but where they're going to the pros and having an impact right away, which is great to see. Phil Mayaka, one of those on the ball that wanted to have a chance in Spain. He was going to have a trial with Levante, a Premier League, La Liga side in Spain.
A mid-table La Liga team. It's a high-level quality team, and that just goes to show that even European teams are coming over here to watch the ACC because these guys are talented. Put in the right situation to develop, they have great potential. So it's all about which system you go to, which coach has takes you under his wing and believes in you. I think that's vital for some players to make that jump. And sometimes they're going to find themselves in a position that they didn't think they'd play. Whether you're an attacking right-sided player or left-sided player, next thing you know, you're a right back or left back because teams play with their outside backs extremely high in the attacking side of the pitch and being dominant in possession, which allows them to kind of flourish. And the next thing you know, you're like, oh, I didn't know I had a future in this position. And you play for 10+ years as a professional in a different position than you did as a youth growing up. So I love watching some of these players play and trying to figure out, okay, who's the diamond in the rough? Because we all know, okay, Mayaka, the kid's super talented. Kamari Smith, super talented. Grayson Barber, all these players. Who are these other guys that are playing, getting a lot of minutes, but not necessarily getting all the plaudits? Who can make that adjustment at the next level? I love watching it to try and figure out who can be that kid.
That's where the player personnel departments make their money. That's the scouting. That's the hard part. How do you find the diamonds in the rough? And Mayaka would have had that trial with Levante, but obviously COVID put an end to that last spring, and Clemson's a beneficiary of it. Although he did say when he came here he wanted to play 2 years of college soccer. That he told his family, told his coaches at Montverde Academy, and he's making good on that. And he's hoping he can help lead his team to a late win here against Duke. It's 1-1. Just under 8.5 minutes to play here from Clemson, South Carolina. Christopher Godarson to play the ball in. Driven in, looking for Scotty Taylor, who just subbed on. A little too tall for him.
Now with 8 minutes left, it's important that Duke don't get stretched. You've done so well this whole match. Don't commit numbers forward and give space in behind for Kamari Smith and Grayson Barber to get into.
Could be an opportunity. Falls. Smith trying to outrun Ian Murphy, not going to get there. Nice 1-2. Taylor's got right to his right. A lot of orange getting back, though. Taylor able to keep it. He's going to run it down, too. He's going to try to cut it back, get across, and he does. Taylor out-muscled there by Asensio. And the sophomore holding his right elbow.
Duke doing a good job of swinging it left to right when they get into that final third, and Asensio just needed to beat Taylor to the spot. And Scotty Taylor was trying to cut across to get near post, but Asensio saw it, read it, did a good job of getting over to disrupt Scotty Taylor.
Again, that's Asensio, the 15, the usual left back playing a central back role, read the play well. In swinging ball, Marks makes the save! On the doorstep, it was McGarvey. But Mark stands tall.
McGarvey cannot believe it. Duke whips it in. McGarvey in the 6. Clean header. But Marks does a good job of just making himself big. That's all you can do in that position. And his reaction was spot on. He was able to gobble up the rebound. And now Clemson are really in danger of giving up a point at home.
Barber pings it out to Martin. He plays the ball in. A lot of contact. That was Chris Matlashewski's he's going to be called for the foul. Push off in the back of Daly.
Just whipping the ball to the back post. And Matlashewski, 2 hands. two-hand shove. It's going to be called all day on Amir Daly.
Flicked on, might fall to Taylor. He's got Asensio back, he lays it off to Gardarson. Was he taken down? Mark Gorak says no.
Man.
Bodies are flying and we're in transition again. Game is opening up. Wright trying to bend it around, but it'll go just to the arms of Marks.
Scotty Taylor plays it for Gardarson. And Ogren slides in, takes the risk, and he makes a perfect challenge. I mean, inch perfect to make a challenge on that ball in that position where you're risking a red card, you're risking a penalty kick, all of the above. Well done.
Play. And Matt Latrussi called for a foul on Daly again. That was a tremendous tackle by Oscar Ogren, the sophomore from Sweden, showing why he's one of the best center backs in the country. Under 4 minutes to go. Just hitting the top of the hour here in the East Coast alongside Charlie Davies. I'm Dallin Cuff. 1-1 between the Blue Devils and the Tigers, but hold on, that might change right now. Ball played back, great header. Defensively by John Martin. Floated back in. Isaiah Reed's able to get his head on it, but Reed's down now. Sophomore Isaiah Reed from Rock Hill, South Carolina, still holding his head. See if he gets some treatment. Usually it's pretty immediate whenever there's a potential head issue.
Substitutions for Clemson, number 25, James Bright replaces number 19, Chris Manchowski.
It's head to head.
Number 17, Quinn Whitfield replaces number
Right,
8,
Isaiah Reed.
Cal Johnson.
Just bang heads there. You're hoping he's okay.
And again, he was part of the reshuffle in the back line. If you're just joining us, Justin Malou, the senior center back, one of the key cogs in this Clemson squad, went out in the first half. They're all conference left back. Charlie Asensio moved into the middle center back spot. Isaiah Reed, usually a forward, play that left back spot now. So they are making things work. Mike Noonan is trying to make it work right now. It's a little bit of a puzzle back there in the back. We'll see if Reed comes back in. If not, Ben Erkins looks like he's going to step in the match for the moment being. If you're also just joining us, college soccer, you can leave the match in the second half and re-enter the match. Difference is here is if you were fouled and that caused an injury for you to leave, that does not count against you. That's why Erkins can come on the pitch right now, and he does. Freshman, two-time Gatorade Player of the Year in South Carolina. This is his first match he's ever played, and he came in the first half, so he got his feet wet, but definitely a different level than he's used to.
Well, Mike Noonan's just given a lot of his players the experience, and it's because he has to. You're dealing with fatigue, you're dealing with injuries, heavy legs. You have to rotate players.
Fernandez Salvador shrugs off a challenge. It gets it reversed to Ogren.
And you see there's 3-4 defenders for Duke there in the corner surrounding Grayson Barber. They're not giving him room to take somebody 1v1 anymore. They're trying to neutralize some of these attacking threats. And in order to break down a Duke team, you need to spread the field wide.
Barber and boatloads of space, but was offside, and that was a good finish, but it ain't going to count.
You tagged that one. Grayson Barber, 2 steps off. And if you're a winger, he can see the whole line.
Yeah.
You would tell him there's no excuse for that. You can see the whole line. You're off. But again, that's how you can get into the game. Quick passing in the midfield and then hit a hard switch to the wide areas where you can get Grayson Barber on the ball. For him to, it has to be quick too, because Duke will get 2 or 3 guys over to help. So in order to break them down, you need someone from the midfield to come higher up the field and be creative, play 1-2s combined, and that's the way you pull some of these Duke players out of position.
It's good to see Charlie Sensio step dip the center back spot to help create that chance, but now it could be a chance for Amir Daly on the other side, and he'll go out for another corner, the 9th of the match for the Blue Devils. Daly, a New York Red Bull Academy product.
Amir Daly using his pace to get in behind, and then just a great recovery there from Felipe Fernandez Salvador.
Played in by Periano. Barber trying to hold it up, does enough to get the foul, maintain possession. We're just around 90 seconds as Mark Gorak's now going to stop the clock because Daly's holding the ball. And Mayaka and Daly are having some words. You know Stroud's going to find the fracas. 14 in blue. Daly, the freshman, getting a little talking to from Gorak.
He's on the yellows. Hey, young man, get back to your position. Keep your mouth closed. You're on a yellow.
Yep, he and Matthias Frick are both on yellows for the Blue Devils. Grayson Barber for the Tigers. Good chest control from Smith. Erkins kind of finds Smith in a ton of space. Low ball played in. Cross not good. I mean, clearance not good. .60 seconds to play. Nice job by Taylor to hold it up and maintain possession. And the Blue Devils might be on. They got 5. And the attacking third. Could be to right. Falls right to him. First time shot, maybe a pass. I don't know, but Scotty Taylor couldn't put it on frame.
Daniel Wright wanted to hit it with pace coming across the ball. Duke throwing numbers forward, trying to get into the final third, and he tries to catch it with the outside of his foot to bend it towards that far post. Scotty Taylor was like caught off guard, tried to redirect it.
It's almost a phenomenal shass. The shot that becomes a pass that almost became a goal.
But I can't tell you how much improved this Duke side is just mentality-wise from last year.
9, 8, 7, 6.
That group did not have the grit in the fight. This group does.
3, 2, 1.
And we're going to overtime. This young crew that starts 4 freshmen has battled Clemson, one of the best teams in the country, to a stalemate after 90 minutes. So we've got at least 10 more. We've got 10 more potentially coming your way. Sudden victory overtime in college soccer, folks. Don't go anywhere here. Blue Devils, Tigers, 1-1. We're heading to OT. We're heading to OT here at historic Riggs Field. Clemson Tigers and the Duke Blue Devils, 1-1 at the end of regulation. And let's show you how we got there. Both goals coming in the first half, and shockingly enough, against the run of play, Chuck, it was Duke that got off the mark first.
Well, Callum Johnson with the poor back pass and the 1-2 with O'Connell. And it was just a smooth goal along the ground, near post, catches George Marks. Great start from Duke. The team that was coming in with a defensive game plan has paid off.
It did pay off, no doubt, but it was a quick response coming the other direction from Clemson. A little move created by Brandon Parrish, some quick feet, and then some slick passing to get a goal.
It was Grayson Barber, gets it on his right foot, just an inch of space to fire off that shot, and the reaction from James Brighton, the big man. As a striker, you have to be opportunistic. He fought through it and got the big goal to get the equalizer.
Great job by Brighton, his first goal of the campaign. Redshirt sophomore, one of the co-captains on this team, working himself back to full fitness. That was a huge moment, no doubt. But in the second half, Duke had great chances. But George Marks here, point blank, huge save to keep this thing tied up at 0-1, excuse me.
This 6'2" McGarvey gets in there, and Marks, great reaction save. And Oscar Ogren fantastic, inch-perfect tackle here to stop Godarson on a chance at goal.
We got a great game coming your way here right now. Just a few minutes we get started in the first overtime. But how about Louisville and Syracuse? Also an OT. The best soccer conference in the country, no doubt, the ACC. Year in and year out, regardless of who's playing, it's the best conference. And we're tied at 2s going into OT in Syracuse. Both those teams could really use a victory as well, as Syracuse is 0-2 right now in ACC play. And Louisville is 0-1. Here are your regular season overtime rules. In case you do not know, we have 2 10-minute periods. Unless a goal is scored, it is sudden victory or golden goal, however you want to call it. Next goal wins. Subs, no re-entry in first or second OT period. So if you exit the field, your day is done. If still tied after the second OT, it will end in a 1-1 draw in this scenario, and each team gets a point. We're underway. Alongside Charlie Davies, I'm Dallin Cuff from historic Riggs Field. The Clemson Tigers coming off a win over the #1 team in the nation on Tuesday, taking on a Duke Blue Devils team that is young, that is scrappy, that is 2-1 in the ACC right now, coming off a win over NC State. Win for either team goes a long way in terms of the standings here. The top 4 in the South region. There are 5 teams in the South region move on to play in the ACC quarterfinals, the ACC tournament. Grayson Barber ahead of the pack. He's got options. Smith is right there, but it went to Brighton, and he couldn't control it.
It was just behind Brighton. That's a tough ball to try and control.
Callum Johnson on it, springing forward. Brighton running out of real estate. Able to earn a corner off Matthias Frick there.
He did
well
a
done by
good job
Brighton.
to get a corner, but that's not where you want your striker. You want your target striker to be in the box.
Clemson corner, number 9, Kamari Smith.
Kamari Smith to take the corner. Just their second of the match. Airmailed. Just a reminder, coming your way as soon as we are done here, all ACC. Kelsey Riggs standing by in the studio. Katie George will join, one of our great reporters on the road, getting you set for some football on Saturday. Mark Herzlich, the former BC Eagle and Super Bowl winning linebacker, will be joining as well to break down the games coming up tomorrow. All ACC coming your way as soon as we end here in Clemson. Pulisic, not what he was looking for.
Let's go.
A little BC love from a fellow alum, Charlie Davies. Herzlich, we worked in Matt Ryan in this discussion today. Coach Jeff Halfley.
Well, since we're at it, Jared Dudley just won an NBA title with the LA Lakers. Just want to throw that out there.
All right, Mayaka's looking to break the deadlock here in overtime. We'll stop the BC love. That's blatant foul there by Kamari Smith. And Wright and Stroud have some words for Smith. Both guys that know something about England. Kamari Smith born in Nottingham, England. Peter Stroud spent 2 years at West Ham United Academy in London.
They're not backing down.
Coach Kerr said we're not playing with fear against these. We're not scared of these guys. We're not going to have any fear. We got a young crew that's ready to battle. Scotty Taylor, no call. Some Blue Devils appealing for a penalty there as Taylor tried to go up and make the play. Sophomore limping. Asensio stepping forward again. His pass picked off by Daly.
Daly's done a good job down of making an impact.
Some extracurriculars now, and Daly's on a yellow. This is going to be interesting by Mark Gorak. He's going to go consult his assistant referee. Now the players are all kind of milling around the ball, having some words with each other.
Here it is.
There's Daly, not just one attempt to push, 2 attempts to push Fernandez Salvador.
And then
there we go. One for Fernandez Salvador, and There it is. That is the freshman Daly's second yellow. He is off. With just under 4 minutes played in the first overtime, he will get a red card, and his day is done.
And this is one of those moments where it's a learning experience. You got the fire, you have the intensity and the passion, and you have the attitude. Love it. But it's 1-1, you're in overtime. You're on a yellow card. This is when teams realize, okay, this is a young guy. Maybe we can push him over the edge. Maybe we can disrupt him, cause some commotion, and he's going to take the bait. He did. And then you have players who are smart. Felipe Fernandez, Salvador, okay, I'm going to go down. I'm going to get the push. I'm going to go down. He got a yellow card as well, but he didn't have a yellow card to begin with. So this is a vital learning experience for the young Amir Daly.
Now, in Fernandez Salvador's defense, maybe a little bit, as ball's played in a second.
What defense?
Tarion on it. We'll get there, Chuck. Oh, it wasn't like Eric Lamela in the Spurs United game where he breathed on him, he flew down, and they got a red card out of it for Martial. That wasn't the same. He did try to push him not once but twice, and now we've got another player down.
You saw him look at the referee. He was fine, and then he did the,
Daly took 2 bites of the cherry. How many times are you going to try to push somebody?
Oh, stop. That reaction was too late. Here it is, fighting Antonio Lopez. Grayson Barber's battling for the ball.
John Kerr having a word with Mark Gorak, the center referee. And Duke again playing with 10 men right now. John Martin, first time ball, not what he was looking for, and Will Pulisic's going to fall on it. All right, strategy for Duke now is, what is the approach here to find a way to get a result?
You consolidate that back four. You bring in, they're going to bring O'Connell in again. Go defensive. John Martin tries to play it in one time. He could have taken it down. I would have liked to see him take it down, go to the line, and cross in. Now we have Christopher Godarson down injured. But Duke, you've been resilient. Continue to stay compact. You don't really have to change anything. Just keep Scotty Taylor high, and everyone else get behind the ball. And Scotty Taylor can even check in on the defensive midfielder, whether that is making sure you're not going to let Philip Mayaka play balls easily into the feet of the attackers. Try and rough him up, be a little bit more physical. But Duke, again, have done a tremendous job of slowing the game down, being physical, and not allowing Clemson the freedom in the center of the pitch.
Christopher Godarson, the Icelandic midfielder, must be having an issue with his leg. It just went down with no contact. And this isn't like soccer you see in the rest of the world where the clock's going to keep ticking. The clock stops in college soccer in these instances. This isn't a time-wasting thing. Clearly, he's not okay right now. So he gets some medical attention. One of the few seniors on this team that logs quite a few minutes. His 56th appearance in a Blue Devil jersey. But because it wasn't a foul, if he left the game right now and they subbed him off, he would not be able to come back in. So right now he's going to leave the pitch. We'll see if he re-enters or John Kerr actually chooses to sub him out. We're going to show you a replay after a free kick he took earlier today where he reached down and grab his leg off the Periano ball that was tried to be clipped into him. So Stephen O'Connell does come in the match for him. We'll see where O'Connell sets up. You hear Matthias Frick saying, "Here we go, blue." That is number 3 in the middle of the screen there, the senior, one of their captains, trying to lead his team to a critical point on the road at Clemson. O'Connell, the goal scorer, who just checked in the match. Looks like a beach ball out there right now.
Yeah, this is playing right into Duke's hands.
Mayaka's able to bring it under control, get his head up and look for Barber, but Pulisic well off his line. Well played, little sweeper keeper move. Kept in by Reed. Smith with the flick on. Is Barber onside? He is not. Didn't matter because the ball didn't go to the back of the net anyway.
Oof. From that, it's not the greatest camera angle because it's not straight on, so there's nothing definitive. Either way, the linesman had the flag up, so you can't review it.
John Martin struggling now. The junior. It's only his 14th time playing in a college game. Got a couple starts this year. This is his third one, but he was deputizing for Alvaro Gomez, who started in the last match their win over #1 Wake at that right back spot. Gomez was hurt in that match. Martin gave really good minutes after that. He got the start today. That game was on Tuesday night, so only 3 days ago. And the Tigers are back at it. Johnson finds Brighton. Smith in the channel. Barber's never able to put the ball into the box. And that's Fernandez Salvador, excuse me. And Duke's going to get going the other direction.
Nick Perry.
Murphy getting forward from his left back spot.
Good pass, Steve. Great pass, Steve.
And Murphy wandered offside. That'll turn it over with just under 3:40 here in the first overtime. Switched wide. Barber 1v1 with Murphy. Goes for goal. Murphy the block.
Grayson Barber isolated 1v1 with Ian Murphy. You thought he would take it, and he tries to go for the early cross. Kamari Smith was telling him, play it soon, play it early. Right off. If you're going to play it right off the first touch.
Mayaka with a lot of space. Lays it off to Brighton, back to Mayaka. Try to play to 1-2. Picked off. And will Duke be able to counter? Stroud. Run down by Smith. And his right was cleared out. He wants a card. He may get himself a card with that reaction.
Kamari Smith tracking back and going for the toe poke and just catches Daniel Wright's back heel late. Also could have warranted a yellow card.
Enrique Montana just checking in for John Martin, I believe. Montana has not played in this match yet. Redshirt freshman. This is his third appearance of the year. He had one start earlier in the season against UAB. We saw Martin kind of struggling physically, so he's kind of come on. Mayaka able to get it up to Barber. 2v2. Murphy's getting back to make it 2v3. Barber's pass could not get to Smith cleanly, but he's still on it.
2 minutes remaining.
2 to go in the first OT. Fontana's first touch. Naka's pass, not much on it, but good use of his body by Barber to draw on Murphy and get the foul. Free kick potentially in a dangerous spot here. 4 of Duke's 7 conceded goals this year have been on set pieces.
And this is an unnecessary foul, Dallin, for Ian Murphy to take down Grayson Barber in this area of the field.
Fernandez Salvador dribbled to the back post. Pulisic with a good punch.
Well done by Pulisic. If you're not going to catch it, you have to make sure you make good contact with the punch, and he did.
Fernandez Salvador out to Johnson. Fontana on the overlap. Tries to get a little cheeky with it, doesn't come off. Time is ticking down here. Duke in no hurry to get this ball thrown back in.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
All right, 1 OT down. Second OT coming your way after we take a quick break here. 1-1 from historic Riggs Field. Tigers, Blue Devils, second OT, just minutes away. Heading into the start of the second overtime, the Blue Devils and the Tigers knotted up at 1. It is sudden victory in college soccer, so next goal wins if there's a goal. If not, after 10 minutes, we go into a draw. Here are your current South Region standings. Just a reminder for folks, the top 4 teams in this region will move on to the ACC tournament quarterfinals. The North Region has 6 teams, so you just have to finish in the top 4 here. If Duke at 2-1 right now in their conference record, if they come out of this with a point, a road point at Clemson would put them in great position. You see NC State right now 0-3. They've lost the Blue Devils twice. So the Blue Devils are in a great spot to do what John Kerr said to us on the phone. Our goal is just to get ourselves into that tournament with this young team and keep fighting and see what can happen from there. This Clemson team, Chuck, was picked to be the team in the South Region, to win the South Region and be the best team in the conference. And Mike Noonan right now, they are 1-1. What do they have to do to find a way to walk out of here with 3 points?
Well, we saw it at times in the game where they're playing quick, they're playing into the midfield. Now, whoever's checking, whether it's James Brighton or if it's Camarnie Smith or if it's Grayson Barber, they're drawing 2 or 3 Duke players. And then when they lay it back, that next ball has to go wide. And that player is going to be isolated. You have to play quick. As soon as it goes to that wide player, they got to be on the dribble. And whether it's creating your own shot or getting to the end line and putting a cross in, it's got to be done with pace.
I was Charlie Davies. I'm Dallin Cupp as we're set to start the second OT. You see Nick Macri join the match, subbed in for Scotty Taylor. So Taylor's night is done. This Clemson team just beat Wake Forest, the #1 team in the nation, on Tuesday night in a very hard-fought, high-intensity game where only 14 outfield players played in that match. You're now going into a second overtime here in that short time. We'll see what the Tigers have left in the tank. A number of changes that he made for injuries or just exhaustion, and they've had to make a bunch of different changes. But here, Camarnie Smith's in the channel with a lot of space. Lopez comes over to close him down. Smith working, floating. He's got an option. The ball game is over. Smith hooks up Brighton. He gets a brace, and the Tigers take all 3 points.
And it's the difference maker, Camarnie Smith, one of the nation's top attacking players, gets on the ball, hits a step over, goes to his left, crosses it for the on-rushing James Brighton, who just guides it home. They get the big win at home. It wasn't pretty, but they got the 3 points. They battled, they fought through injuries, through fatigue, through a resolute Duke team who did everything to deserve a point on the night. But this is the difference. Into the space for Camarnie Smith, 1v1. Step over, brings it to his left foot, and the delicate chip to the back post for James Brighton, where you get your big man in the box and guides it home. Nothing Will Pulisic could do. And it's the clever play from the cheeky Camarnie Smith, one of the nation's top attackers, gets it done. And James Brighton, the redshirt sophomore forward, who's just getting his feet under him, brings it home. And Clemson come from behind to get the big win.
Thank you for your support for tonight's match. We look forward to seeing you.
The exuberance and the pain on the other side from Duke. They were down to 10 men. They fought, they scrapped, they battled. But in the end, it was not enough.